Hello everybody and welcome back to our heroic run of League of Explorers. Today we're taking out Heroic Scarvash and we're using a deck which is shaman deck, which is lovely. You must have the power maces for this, they are extremely helpful. And as well as everything else really, Feral Spirit helps a lot as well. Welling Zaphamanic can be a lot of burst, especially if you have a Rock Biter, but probably not going to be able to play those on the same turn anyway. So we're going to start off by silencing that 3/5. Because if you think about it, the other one gets buffed by 1 damage each time you use the spell, whereas the other one gets buffed by 2, and over time that's going to build up to a decent amount of damage to your face. So Anoidron here saves us from, 6 damage, which is pretty good. So next turn we have the Feral Spirit, or we have the weapon to be able to deal with either. I think in this case it was probably better to do the Feral Spirit. I can't remember what I did. But we could either Earth Shock and just leave it a turn, which is really not good, or we can use the weapon to be able to take care of that 3/3. And then when we draw into a mech, possibly next turn, if we draw into a mech next turn, we could play it because this turn our spells have been increased by mana cost. Okay, so we're down to 18 health. Remember that the weapon doesn't actually get a mana change because it's either spells or minions, and that is neither. But in this case, I used the weapon to remove it because then obviously we save an additional 3 damage in advance, even though we don't get the benefit from, say, buffing a mech, you know. But it's all fine. He used Confuse, which surprised me, completely surprised me, because I've never actually seen that played before. But we have Feral Spirit. We do not want to use the Earth Shock on that because then it's going to go back up to 5 health. Well, it'll go back up to 4 health because you deal the 1 damage. So you silence it. If you silence it, it will go to a 3/5, and then it would deal the 1 damage, right? Which is completely pointless because either way it's going to take out both of our taunts or whatever, and ideally we want to be able to take it out as quickly as possible, and this is the way to do it. Okay, so we got a 1/3 that can take out that 7/1, and that 2/6 cannot get past our taunt. So I use my taunt to get his health down a bit. He's going to trade into it, and then next turn we can use our Shredder to be able to take out other bits and bobs as well, which is pretty cool. But he used Confuse again. I did this all last night, right? And I cannot remember anything that happened in any of these games because you've got to grind them so much that you don't remember anything that happened to them. So now we can use the Shredder to trade effectively, efficiently, and whatnot, whatever. And I also hex that because tempo, you know, if we need board control in this situation, right? And there's the direct damage that it can deal. We actually got a bluegill out of that, which is kind of helpful. But the idea is, I think the win condition I got with this game was I maintained board control over the game. I tried my best to maintain board control, that is. Build up minions over time with my hero power, and by churning out a bunch of mechs and things like Shredder and that. Until the end of the game, where I could use the Bloodlust to be able to deal with that final big, huge push of damage. So I think we used the hero power in this point and got a healing totem, which actually meant that we could keep on pushing for that damage because the taunt gets healed and he's only got that 1 damage. First Bloodlust is used just to try and push a bit of that extra damage. It might have been a good idea to take out that 1/3 with one of our guys, but I felt as though if we drew into another Bloodlust, then we would just get the lethal, because we can already maintain a decent board control by not losing any minions this turn. Okay, so there's Rock Biter, which costs 11, which is completely out of range. Unless you were playing, no, I was going to say unless you were playing Druid, but you wouldn't be able to gain mana because Innovate would cost 11 as well, so there's no real way around it. So I traded the Shredder into the 1/3 purely because then we keep our minions, all of our minions on board, and then he's got to use one of his stronger minions to take out the weaker taunt, and then again we lose less health, we lose less minions. So he used that keeper of the whatever it's called to be able to take down the damage of the Yeti, but we got Bloodlust, we got Rock Biter, we got a shit ton of damage. So that was the win condition that I went for. I went for the board control and then Flood and then Bloodlust, which actually worked pretty well. I think I won that way twice out of the 3 times. So yeah, that's how I did it, and I hope you enjoyed this. So there guys, bye! Hello everybody, and welcome back to Fallout 4. Oh yeah, you're probably wondering, where the hell am I? Well, we did some streaming. We streamed for a couple hours, and I played a little bit off camera as well. And basically, at the end of last episode, we had to go and follow this bloke, wherever he is, to